Hi friends, welcome to Shine with Marilena Cortez and Mark Sedgwick. Here, another day to shine, another opportunity to spread a little light in this world. So let's welcome Mark Sedgwick and the quote of the day.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the show. Sorry that we were off last week due to the flooding here in Houston, but we made it. We're all good. So yeah, the quote of the day goes like this: "The great dream, invisible to all the world, except for the person who holds it, is responsible for every great advancement of mankind." So what does that mean, man? It's just the dream. You have to visualize it. Today we're talking about visualization and the power that it has. We're talking about dreams. We're talking about gifts. We're talking about passions, right? So, I mean, just begin there. What do you want to do with your life? What do you enjoy doing? What do you love? What are you passionate about? Are you passionate about helping kids? Like my mom is very passionate about that. I love teaching people. That's one of my gifts, I think, and one of my passions. So I visualize that. How can I create something out of that, right?
That's right. And, you know, a lot of people have a hard time visualizing or seeing that mental image in your brain because you probably don't even know what you want. So I'm going to start by asking you, what do you want in life? What are you doing to make those small little things possible?
Yeah.
But a lot of people go through their entire life without thinking to even understand who you are and what you want, what makes you happy, what gives you joy.
Yeah.
You know,
what gives you satisfaction, I think, is the biggest key. What I found, you know, a lot of things give us joy in this world: alcohol, drugs, overindulgence of sex.
I don't want to.
I'm gonna be no. Well, a lot of people enjoy these things. I'm not saying everybody does.
Not everybody. Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things that we enjoy. We get pleasure from that are not good. They're not going to do us good in the long term. You know, so we gotta. The biggest thing is what is going to satisfy me in the long term, right? What am I going to get joy from at long term?
Well, that's a good point. I'm okay because I was like, okay, no, I don't want that, and I don't ever want that in my life.
Joy is good,
but unfortunately, I mean, there are some things that people enjoy that aren't necessarily healthy, but I'm asking about what do you want to do in your life. People go to drugs or with alcohol or all those other crazy things because they're not happy. So that's like an outlet.
Yeah.
So don't get confused here. I'm not asking you to go find what you want as an outlet because you're miserable or because you're not happy with who you are. I'm asking you to really look deep inside you and discover yourself, discover who you are. In order for you to be able to visualize it and see that mental image, you first have to really know who you are and what you want in life.
Yeah, and how do you do that? You try things, right? I think that's the biggest thing. Is so many people are very closed-minded and not willing to try things. Open your mind up, guys. We go out and try, you know, things that are risky. You know, you're like, oh man, do I want to eat this crazy food? Well, I'll never know if it's my favorite food if I never try it, right?
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because you mentioned something yesterday when we were discussing the topic. He said, Mom, you know, I think it really starts with who your parents and what you're doing in your life.
Yeah.
Are you being inspired by your parents? And you always say, oh, you know, I've been lucky because I'm so inspired by our family. And I was thinking, yes. Of course, you get a lot of inspiration from your family, but what happens to kids like me who were abandoned by their dad, or their mom was always sick? You know, it was my grandparents who then took over, and then I was lucky and blessed to have my grandparents. But there's sometimes kids don't have that.
Yeah,
so they grow up in this atmosphere where they can't even visualize anything better because they don't even know what that better looks like.
Well, not only that, and they are shut down when they're like, "Hey, Mom, I have this really cool dream." Hey, that'll never happen, son. Never. But you got to believe. You have to realize that anything is possible. Any great advancement in the world was because of a dream, a simple visualization that was built up. And, you know, just because it doesn't seem possible now doesn't mean that you can't build and build and build and get that momentum, positive momentum, to then create something amazing and beautiful.
Yeah.
Right?
And I want to again remind parents how powerful our words are in a child's life. Watch your words. They learn half of what they're doing. They learned it from us. So be careful. We are the first role models for our children. So be a great example for them, and just stop and think what you're doing also to influence and motivate your kids. So we want to focus on visualization because it's it's been talked about for many, many years. You know, your quote comes from a very inspirational man. His name is Bob Proctor.
Bob Proctor, yeah.
Right? And I've listened to him. I like some of the ideas. I don't ever get hooked on one person because they also then, once they discover something, they really drill too much on things and then they just get stuck on that one idea. And
They get fixated.
I don't want to get fixated. That's why I'm so much into the yin yang, the balance of things. You know, try not to just get hooked on too much good, because too much good is also bad. Then you get so fixated into trying to change the world, and
addiction maybe will come.
Well, but addiction to, you know, trying to fix the world or trying to fix all those crazy politics out there, you know, then you get stuck on that, and it becomes a dead animal that you've been beating for so long. But hey, you know what? He's dead. There's nothing that you can do to hurt him.
They dwell.
And they dwell. So be careful on those things. Try to expand your mind and really, really focus on the things that really matter. Let's go back to visualization, because we could really take off to another topic. But we brought some tips to share with you. And in the second segment, I'm going to bring some women that I had the honor to meet through Latinas Rising, which a big shout out to my friends and creators, you know, Sol and Edna and all my friends. Well, they're the founders. They're the girls who had this vision. They had this dream to make changes in the world for our kids, for our community, and for our city. And so we are uniting with these women to make those changes. But each one of us has visualized something in that it's important to us. So we're going to be talking about that on the second segment. You know.
Yeah. So let's stick to like the question of how does visualization work? What can you do to create that vision into reality? Because a lot of people are like, it'll never happen. Yeah, but how do you get there?
I believe the first thing you have to do is know who you are and know what you want. So I already said, you know,
try things.
Know who you want, what you want, and know who you really are. And then second step is describe your vision in your mind and have those reminders. I want to share with you this picture. I brought this picture. It's a tree of life, and as many of you know, I love trees of life. But my trees of life always have a message. This one says, "Cuida tu cuerpo," take care of your body. There's little things that I visualize myself, especially after last year battling cancer. Health to me has become so important. So I have these streets of life with messages that are constantly telling me, take care of your body, take care of your heart, take care of your mind. So that's my support, my visual, that I have it with me at all times to remind me of this. And I make them and put them in my house. I sell them, right? I do workshops. I do not visualization workshops and sessions. I'm having one Saturday at the house with some friends who are going to come out and paint trees of life, and we're going to talk about what is our vision, what is our goal, what things do we want to change or improve. So that's my way to inspire myself.
Yeah.
Find a way that, or something that helps you to number one, remember to do this. Because one of the things people do is they think of something and then they forget about it. And they're like, well, I wonder why it didn't happen. I thought about it last year. So you have to be consistent.
Oh, yes, that's key.
Consistency is a key.
Yeah.
Visualize, meditate, really, really focus on those goals, those dreams, and see yourself. And that brings me to the third one, is start visualizing it and making time to visualize it.
Yeah. So that also has to, you know, people don't continue visualizing. It's because, like, I don't have time for that dream. You know, it'll never happen. You know, they don't believe, right?
That's right.
You know, it's back, you know, you got to be consistent with it. Otherwise, it won't happen. Just like anything else in life. If you don't keep on working at it, if you don't keep on lifting those weights, you'll never get bigger. You'll never get stronger. You have to keep on doing it. It's like a muscle as well. Visualization, you know, dreaming is kind of like a muscle, right? You have to do it consistently, and then it'll work.
Yes, and the last one I want to share with you is the actions. So not only do you think about it, you actually do something about it. You're not just sitting there going, I want money,
Yeah.
and you don't work hard and you don't do anything about it. So we'll be right back and continue to talk about this amazing topic, how to discover the power of visualization and how to actually make it happen.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So we're going to start this second segment off with another quote by Conor McGregor. He's one of the UFC's two-weight world champion. I'm a huge fan of his. He has very controversial viewpoints on a lot of things, and he's very, bold in a lot of ways. So some people don't like him. But anyways, he has a good point on visualization. That's why I'm bringing him up. He said, if you can see it here and you have the courage enough to speak it, then it will happen. So the reason why I like that quote is because first you have to think about it. You have to visualize, you have to dream, and then you have to speak it into existence. And not necessarily speak it, but you can also, use your actions like my mom was saying, create. That's how, so step one is see it here, then create, and then it will happen. It's very simple. So that's the power of visualization. So.
That's right. And today we have a very special guest with us, and I'm so excited because she's one of the Latina Rising executive board members, and we got a chance to meet through again we said Sol Macias and Edna and we call her teapots.
Yeah, I mean, we've always just called her teapots. So
yeah, so with teapots, but these women had this vision, and then we got united because of them. And so I want to welcome Mary Ann Brown. She's a proud Mexican American and a Houstonian. She's the executive board director of Latinas Rising, and she's also into health. You're the health director in one of the.
Concentra.
Yes, and she just gave me her bio, so I'm trying to read, and it's like my phone just went boop. So anyway, so Mary really truly believes that when there's a will, there's a way, and she stands here with us today at Shine and being a light in the world. You are a sparkling little light everywhere you go.
Well,
so thank you for coming.
No, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here today, especially speaking about raising Latinas, which I'm very passionate about, and just what we're doing out there in the community, empowering women, and our vision, and basically our vision is to create opportunities for Latina women and connect deeply, learn new skills, and become socially and civically active, because we lack that right now. And we don't have enough women just cheering each other on, and being that positive force for one another. And when I joined Rising Latinas, I thought to myself, this is a group of women that, empower one another, that bring positive energy to one another. And I want to be that for women out there. I want to be what they were to me when I needed it the most. I want to be able to make someone else feel that way.
Yes.
And Latinas Rising does that. They're out in the community helping, volunteering, LatinaCon, which is coming up in October. We're all super excited about that, and we're all kind of just little worker bees trying to put together this massive event for women, and that's what we're visualizing. We're visualizing that it's going to inspire women to want to dream and aim higher, and if we can if we can help them get to their goal and dream big and get to those dreams, then let's do it. Let's do it together and empower one another.
Yes, that's beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? Like, number 5, remember I just gave you 4 tips, 4 things you're supposed to be doing for visualization. The 4th one is practice by finding the support group that's going to really push you to get to those visualization, those dreams. So here we are, it's like a perfect fit today with the topic.
I want to add something onto that. Like I made a connection. So the painting that you were showing, that's kind of like a trigger for you to visualize and to dream and to, lift you up.
Yes.
But the same thing can be applied with people, right?
Oh, yeah,
so
definitely.
The good people around you, they will motivate you to visualize, but like we were saying earlier, that won't always happen when you're in your first years of life, because you're forced to be with the parents, most of the time.
Yeah.
So they might put you down. But later on in life, or hopefully if it gets solved, you will be given the freedom to visualize, right?
Yeah, and choose the right people around you that will support you and also push you and give you that extra push, because it's not easy. You visualize something. We want to dream big,
Of course.
right? We all dream big, but
Well, not all
then
of us.
you get stuck. Yeah, but a lot of people get stuck, even if you dream small. But you get stuck even in those small dreams because you don't continue to move forward with the next steps, which is your actions. You gotta do something about it. You can just sit there and wish for things to happen.
Right, and I remember like one of the first meetings that I went to at Latinas Rising. I remember Sol, who's the founder. She's like, just do it, you know. And we would all talk about, well, we want to do this, and I want to do that, and she was just looking at me. She's like, well, just do it.
So
like,
with all
that's
this
right.
talking, right?
Yeah, like let's just do it. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
and that's why
okay.
I love going, because I think we motivate each other, we inspire each
Right,
other,
yes,
and if
very
we
much
doubt
so.
anything, we'll find the right person that day that's going to tell us what we needed to hear.
Exactly.
And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful
It is.
support group.
It's amazing because, you know, sometimes we hype ourselves up and we say, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And, you know, I want to do this and that. But then we just say it. We don't do it. But then you have, like, people like Latinas Rising, and I call them my LR sisters, you know. They're like, hey, Mary, you said you wanted to do this. Did you do it? Ándale, let's do it.
Yes.
You know,
Keep you in check,
they
yeah.
do. They really do keep you in check, and I need that. Sometimes you need that. You know, some of us can be procrastinators. You know,
a lot of people are.
and so, or you just get caught up in life. You know, you
That's
get
right.
caught up in everyday life. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. You know, I work full time, and so all of those things consume you, and then you forget about what your purpose in life is. You know, outside of creating your family. And for me, it was, you know, being in the community, empowering other women, making them feel positive about themselves. But in order to do that, you actually have to get out there and do it.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you can think it all you want, but if you're not putting those steps into motion,
Yes.
nothing's going to happen with all that goodness. You know?
I saw a video a few days ago, and I think I shared it with you, where you have to, well, first of all, once you dream and you think about it, you have to separate yourself in order to do a little bit of meditation
Right.
to be able to visualize it in a deeper level. Because one thing is to just have the thought. Maybe you wrote it down on your journal. You know, I love writing, and I write it down all the time. But if you just leave it in here, once you close that book, it's almost like it's gone, right?
Yeah,
So
true.
the next step is really to then step back, really visualize it, make those images. Everything we do started with the visual image. The phones we have. Somebody had the idea. It started
Steve
here.
Jobs. Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Yes.
He had the idea, but then he, put the idea on paper. Maybe drew what the
I want
smartphone
to say
was going to
something
be.
very important about this part.
Yes.
So, Steve Jobs did not know how he was going to create the iPhone. So he started very, very small. I'm sure he had a lot of knowledge and stuff, but he had no idea of how he was going to. The very end, he didn't know how that this was going to be created necessarily. He knew that the end product, but he didn't know how he was going to get there. He just believed that he was going to get there, and then the steps naturally fall into place because of the law of attraction, because of visualization, because of dreaming. So I think that's a huge thing to, just because you don't know how you're going to get there doesn't mean drop your dream. No, it means you might have to work a little harder. You're going to have to work hard either way. So just dream big.
And never
That's
give
the big
up.
key.
Right?
Never give up.
Exactly.
Yes. What I love also about Latinas Rising is we had one person that had a dream, a goal, and she had the vision. And then two others joined her, which is
Right.
Edna and Teapots. And then they all three said, no, but this is good. We need
So much
more.
bigger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's so
bigger than
bigger.
we had imagined. So one little idea turned into a bigger idea and then tripled. And now it's
Snowballed.
How many do we have now? How many women?
I mean,
It's over
we lost-
100, I
yes,
think.
I've lost count because
Yes.
every time I go onto our website, just to kind of see where we're at. It's like the numbers are just constantly rising, and that's so empowering and so
Yes.
just makes my heart smile. Really,
And that's why I wanted Marianne to be here with us today. We have to go on a short break. We'll be right back to continue this conversation.
Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. So, to finish off the show, I want to give you guys one more powerful quote by Steve Harvey. I've been watching a lot of his stuff, and he seems very empowering in a lot of the concepts that he has. So, it goes like this. Where is it? Okay, there it is. Your gift is the thing that you do the best with the least amount of effort. So, you have to find your gift by, like we said, trying things and stuff like that. But you'll really realize, like, oh yeah, for you, like, what came easy for you, like working with kids. I feel like it's so natural for you to just work with kids and teach them like that, right?
Actually, God put me there I didn't even think I loved kids that much. But once I was there, I just fell in love with the career. I fell in love with how powerful we are as teachers, that we can make them and break them, and we get 20 to 25 kids every year that we can really transform their lives. So I took it very serious, and I became good at it, and that's been my passion. But you know, my hobbies and my real, I don't know, what really makes me happy and joyful is my writing. And that's really what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and that's a huge gift. Most people don't have the patience to do that, right? I think that's a huge gift for you.
Yeah.
You know, it comes easier to you. It comes natural to you.
And so now I'm visualizing myself doing more book signings, visualizing myself impacting our community in a different level. Because I wrote a book about kids, for kids. Now I want to write a book for adults, and especially parents, because parenting to me is so important. We do more as parents than as teachers, really. And we have more power because we end up with those kids, you know, for 20, 30 years, you know, sometimes. But I want to ask Marianne, for you, how do you visualize your dreams and your goals? Do you write them down? Do you meditate more? What do you think?
I actually here recently started to write them down more, because writing them down for me just gives me something to always it's tangible. I can always just grab my tablet and be like, okay, and then I date it and I'm like, okay, so on this date, is my goal still the same from like a year ago? Have I actually done something with it? But it actually puts it in perspective for me. But that's how I've lately been doing it, and it's worked for me. You know, I've always been a people person. I feel I work in healthcare. I've always worked in healthcare, and I always knew that I wanted to help people, and I always thought that healthcare would be the way for me to do it. But now, being part of Latinas Rising, I kind of feel like my calling is being out in the community, being out there helping people, and that's where, you know, my personality just kind of gravitates to other people, and volunteering and just, you know, being out there and meeting people and helping them, you know, achieve their goals, because that's part of me achieving my goal, is helping them.
And you know, I just read something yesterday because I was also looking for what was I going to talk about, what was I going to focus, and it said shine light, or add light and awareness. Okay, now think about this: light and awareness to those things that you want to see changes in. So it's like, if you want to see a change in something, then put all that light and the awareness on what you want to change.
Like your focus. Put your focus onto that.
Yeah,
subject.
but it's almost like you're putting your light by verbalizing it, right? By talking about it, by saying things about it, and the awareness, it could be through a workshop, through a seminar, maybe a short film, maybe. I don't know. There's different ways.
The possibilities are endless, really.
Yeah, even an art piece.
Podcast on the subject.
Of course, right? We're here.
But even a piece of art, you know, if you want, a lot of the artists, they talk through their art. They don't have to say a word. They create something beautiful and express themselves. And when somebody sees that, they might be shaken.
Yes.
They might start crying when they see this powerful image, right?
Yes.
So it's so important, guys. We are at the end of the show, and I'm so excited because I was just getting pumped up, but unfortunately it's time to go. But we want to say our last words, our last messages. Mark, let's start with you.
So I'll start. So I just wanted to, I put it into 3 simple steps of how you can just kind of implement everything we're talking about. So number 1, find out your gifts and your passions. Like you know, find out what you gravitate towards. What is easy for you? Not, you know, everything's gonna be hard work. Don't get that, you know, mistaken. But what comes to you the easiest with, you know, with the least amount of with the least amount of effort. I can't even say it. So yeah, step 2 is visualize and dream up a plan. Right? That's exactly what we've been talking about. Visualize and dream.
Yep.
And then number 3, take action, execute by working on those things that make you happy. And by happy, we mean the most satisfied, right?
Yes.
In the long term.
So now we got to go, but what would you like to say as a last thought?
Well, thank you guys for having me. I'm honored to be here. But really just follow your dreams, guys. You know, follow your heart, because, you know, you're not going to feel fulfilled unless you do that. And, I mean, it's going to take some self-meditation, or maybe just, you know, stepping back from your everyday life and just kind of figuring out what makes you happy. And whatever makes you happy, do that. Follow your heart, because you only have one life.
That's right. And with that, we're going to end. Remember, we only have one life, one opportunity. So use your time, visualize it, dream big. Don't ever give up, and surround yourself with the soldiers and the friends and the right people that are going to push you up in those times where you kind of let go of those dreams. So until next time, shine bright shine, and never, never stop glowing. So
Don't
we'll
let
see
them
you.
discourage
Bye,
you.
guys.
Adios, everybody.
Adios.